been through a lot in these past 2 weeks. I'm able to look at life in a whole different way.
Why did you let the party go on?
Of course, this is a personal thing. But the Grammys were the next night. You don't cancel. You turn an evening into a tribute.
You did it, Magnum.
I saw Ray J coming out of the hotel, hiding his head, being pushed into the car. Why? I looked and I said, why is he hiding? Why is he hiding his face? He's always trying to show his face.
And then the next thing you know, she's dead. Ray J was the last person to see her alive. He let the drug dealer in, but she was sober, right?
So it looks like the rumors about Crusty Davis, oops, I meant Davis, and Ray J being behind Whitney Houston's death might be true after all. And according to new evidence circulating following his death, they had a deeper hand in her death than we thought. People have been speculating for years that Ray J was involved in Whitney's death, but he denied it down. He even denied being at the hotel Whitney was at when she died. But there's literally a video of him sneaking out through the back of the hotel. And Whitney's sister-in-law actually sat on TV and blatantly said she knew Ray J was involved the moment she saw that paparazzi footage of him sneaking out the back. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard Ray J and Davis's dusty tale come up a lot in Whitney's case, and it's for good reason. These two men were the two people she trusted the most, and they both completely failed her before and after her death. Word on the street is that Clive allegedly paid Ray J to come into Whitney's life just when she was getting better to pull her right back into her addiction, an addiction that was later used to cover up her death. You see, right before Whitney passed, she and Ray J were messing around, and that situation had everybody talking for several reasons. First, because of the crazy age gap between them, and second, there were allegations that he was providing her with substances again after she came from rehab. Now, they never officially came out and confirmed they were a couple, but they were spotted together so much that people basically put two and two together on their own. At the time, Whitney was already struggling with substance addiction, and this was one of the most talked about things whenever she appeared in an interview.
Dying. Rehab fails.
First of all, let's get one thing straight. It's cheap. I make too much money to ever smoke. Let's get that straight, okay?
Is it alcohol? Is it cocaine? Is it pills?
It has been. At times.
All?
At times.
If you had to name the devil for you, the biggest devil among them?
That would be me. It's my deciding. It's my heart. It's what I want. I could tell you that I am not self-destructive. I'm not a person who wants to die. I'm a person who has life.
Now, when Whitney was reported dead, and the LA County Department of Medical Examiner's Office concluded that her death was from accidental drowning caused by the effects of heart disease and substance use, people were still side-eyeing the entire situation. The allegations only got worse when a video went viral of Whitney interrupting an interview by Brandy and Monica to give Brandy a letter. Brandy has repeatedly refused to tell us what the letter said, but word on the street is that Whitney was asking Brandy for help, and that she did it on camera because Clive wouldn't be able to stop her if the cameras were on. They even said in the letter that Whitney was allegedly also asking Brandy to protect Bobby Christina when she died. And something else I found interesting was how disturbed Clive looked when Whitney gave Brandy the letter. He even tried to get a peep, but Brandy immediately took it and held it tightly, even though she was also looking confused as to what Whitney could have possibly said. But it gets even worse. Clive went on to do something that really confirmed to everyone that he never actually cared for Whitney, despite knowing her since she was 19. So on the night Whitney died, Clive Davis was hosting his annual pre-Grammy party, and Whitney had been expected to attend and went on as scheduled. In fact, she ended up dying in the same hotel where the party was meant to take place. But instead of canceling it as any normal person would, he actually let the party happen despite her dead body being right upstairs. You cannot make this up. Many people, including Whitney's friends and family, Chaka Khan, Tyler Perry, and even Wendy Williams, made it very clear how disgusting it was that Clive would do something like that. But according to him, he did it as a tribute to her. You cannot make this up.
Whitney, I don't believe that she would have said, the show must go on. She was the kind of woman that would say, stop everything. I'm not going to be there. You know, I
I don't know what could motivate a person to have a party in a building where the person whose life he had influenced so enormously and whose life had been affected by her. So they were like, I don't understand how that party went on from Miami at about 5:30. As soon as I hit the tarmac, I found out, I heard, and I couldn't put on makeup. I couldn't get dressed. I couldn't do anything. I was paralyzed.
It made it no secret that I just thought it was in poor taste for you to continue with the pre-Grammy party when Whitney's body was still upstairs in the hotel room. Remember, Whitney passed away the same day as your annual party. Why did you go on and have the party? Just asking.
Well, you're a very small minority, because if you knew Whitney better, you knew she was not there to perform.
Yeah.
This was her favorite night of the year. She came out every year. This party was so part of her.
So you're saying that she
so
would
that the family, we spoke to representatives of Pat, who was a manager, and Gary, who was her brother.
Her body was still upstairs.
But we dedicated the evening. Whitney would have wanted this party to go on any more than the Grammys should.
And her had a fight 2 days before. And from what I was told, Bobby Christina was present for some of that fight. And then the next thing you know, she's dead. Ray J was the last person to see her alive. He let the drug dealer in, but she was sober, right? But he let the drug dealer in that gave her the shot. Leola Brown, Bobby Brown's sister, has said on several occasions that she was beaten. They saw her body. She didn't just die in a tub, like she was.
But this was just the start of the inconsistencies. In fact, it was all the way down to Whitney's autopsy. So, according to the coroner, Ed Winter, who was initially put in charge of investigating the case, Whitney had what appeared to be defense wounds on her, suggesting that she didn't just get high and drown by accident. Someone deliberately held her down underwater till she drowned. He actually did admit that, yes, Whitney had substances in her system. However, he said it wasn't enough to get her so high that she would accidentally drown. And then there is also the fact that she had defense wounds. How did a woman who was all alone in her bathroom get those wounds? Make it make sense. He said, and I quote, "Whitney was found face down in a water-filled bath with 2 superficial abrasions to the left side of her forehead. She was also found with a bloody purge coming from her nose and with a superficial abrasion to the left side of the bridge of her nose."
See, they said there was nothing wrong with her throat. Her lungs were so damaged that she couldn't fuel the notes. It was her lungs. It wasn't. Her voice was fine.
Oh.
That's how Clive did it. And then the next thing you know, she's Ray J. You know, Ray J was kind of down on his luck because the whole bullshit had happened, and then, you know, Whitney was dead and he was using her, as he's said himself, for clout, and then all of a sudden he got Love and Hip Hop LA after Whitney died.
Anyway, things got even worse when Suge Knight also stepped into the chat to publicly accuse Ray J of being involved in Whitney Houston's death. He claimed that Whitney used the term "Brandy's little brother bringing me drugs and doing drugs with me. Brandy's little brother trying to kiss me and do drugs with me. Next thing you know, she's dead."
Whitney Houston, it's on your hands. I remember the conversation when she thought her life was in the toilet. She didn't even say your name. She just used the term that Brandy's little brother bringing me and doing with me. Brandy's little brother trying to kiss me and do with me. Next thing you know, she's dead. You brag about it.
Now, for the longest time, Ray J either completely ignored the fact that his name was getting brought up a lot, or he acted like he never knew Whitney. But once the allegations became harder to ignore, he finally decided to speak on it, and Jets just say he incriminated himself even more. So remember how I said earlier that Ray J was literally caught on camera sneaking out of the hotel from the back the night Whitney died? Well, in a new interview with Cam Newton, he claimed he was nowhere near Whitney at the time of her death, but instead in San Diego, where he was performing. Now, I don't know if Ray J thinks we didn't see the footage of him leaving the hotel, but he better find somebody else to play with. And if he's lying about this, only God knows what else he's lying about. He also said he never did any substances with Whitney, but there are videos of her being high around him, and people who were around Whitney blatantly accusing him of giving her cocaína.
I love Whitney. I was with Whitney every day. She was one of the most important people to me. Saying that I was in the room when she died. Bro, that's the biggest cap I've ever heard. The way they made that scene is so haunting to me. Here's why. I wasn't even there. I was nowhere around.
Where were you?
I was in San Diego doing a show. Only just got away with it.
Did you guys do drugs?
I've never done one with Whitney. And then when they asked me, did Whitney do drugs?
But despite all this denying he's been doing, the guilt he feels from his alleged involvement has been eating him the hell up for years now. And word on the street is Clive Davis's death might finally be the thing that makes him come clean about what really happened. In fact, Ray J has been dropping hints about wanting to tell us everything that really happened. But every time he does, something seems to hold him back. Possibly the fear of what could do to him. Like back in 2017, he revealed in an interview that everything that happened to Whitney that night was all his fault, and that one day he was going to come out and tell everyone what he did. I had so many people calling me offering millions of dollars to have an interview. I was like, I don't need the money. It's not good money. That's just not right. My karma would be bad. Nobody can explain. It's all my fault. All of that happened. It's all my fault. And when it comes to Davis, people believe he took Whitney out because she was preparing to expose him. If y'all remember, Jaguar said they allegedly had a fight just 2 days before she passed. But what most people don't know is that it didn't end just there. Jaguar actually went on to claim that Whitney was working on a tell-all book, and Ray J allegedly ended up snitching on Whitney to Clive about it. Next thing you know, Ray J is seen leaving the hotel through the back, and Whitney is dead in her bathtub with defense wounds. Girl, I don't know about y'all, but something about her drowning accidentally ain't adding up. And there are also the rumors that Clive allegedly got rid of Whitney to profit off her catalog. You see, at the time of her death, Whitney was deep in debt and was nearly $20 million in debt to her record label Sony. She had signed a $100 million recording contract with Sony and Arista in 2001, the largest in music history at the time, but only earned about $40 million of that total before her record stopped selling, ultimately owing her label nearly $20 million in advances. In the 9 months following Whitney Houston's death, her estate earned an estimated $40 million due to the increase in her sales from her death. Avant-garde musician Diamanda Galas was among the first public figures to raise this point directly. Galas claims that could now package her death in frills and sell it big time, even during the nadir of record sales. She also wrote that Whitney was ill-prepared to perform in her final years, writing, "What was she put on stage as? A lesson that substances kill? Hey, want to see an addict sing? Courtesy of Clive." This entire situation is messy as hell, and one thing that seems to be clear to everyone is that there is more to Whitney's death than we've been told. And with Clive dying, a lot more people like Ray J are going to likely come out and tell us the truth. One person said, "Whitney's death happening before Clive's party in the same building feels like part of a sacrifice ritual." Another person said, "Ray J needs to get investigated too. He was the last person seen with her before she passed." But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Whitney allegedly being intentionally given a bad bag? And do you really think Clive instructed Ray J to off her? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.